Real quick, to keep this channel going, check out my book in the description below. NV Tiny House Heaters also with a discount code down below. And coming up, build a tiny house in the desert with us as part of a hands-on workshop near Joshua Tree, California. RelaxShacks.com for the details. Hey, what's up, guys? Deke, RelaxShacks.com. This is one of those speed sketch or real-time sketch idea hashing out videos that I'm going to make into a plan set. In fact, right now, if you go to my site, if you dig this and want the actual framing plans for it, because it certainly is going to need some structural rigidity. If you haven't built before, you're not going to know what to do. We're going to have them up there kind of for pre-order. If I get 10 orders, I'll finish the plans. Otherwise, I'm not going to bother. So check out the link I have below for the plan set for this if you want to try and build it. And if you ever do build it and send me a quick little video, some photos on it, I'll give you all your plan set money back. That said, sorry this is so impromptu. I'm literally like cramped in time cooking dinner for my family right now. But that said, here's the sketch, here's the idea. Hope you dig it. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that crud. All right, let's do this. So I've been thinking about, amongst other things, we're going to build some cool stuff together and cover the basics in framing and more at our workshop in Joshua Tree, outside Joshua Tree. But I did a sketch like this before, but I have some alterations to it now. Out in the desert, and this certainly could apply in the woods, I want to build what basically would amount to a low profile hidey hut, I guess some people call them. A bug out shelter, a escape bunker, just a cool little camouflage or easy to hide structure where you can just get away, animal watch, or not sightsee, but observe animals in their natural setting without them being aware of you. So I want to devise this so it's incredibly cheap, transportable. So for starters, so I'm giving a stout frame. I'm going to give it some wheels here, and I bet you could, or not I bet, I know you can use simple wheels. You could get it Harbor Freight. You could use salvage wheelbarrow wheels. I mean, you could probably even just cut some really stout discs and configure an axle and have something like this be pretty transportable, portable. I'm kind of thinking the roof here, as long as we're coating the crud out of this to waterproof it, roofing wise, you could certainly put roofing out like Tuftex on Dura.com. It's polycarbonate. Love that stuff. It's flexible, easy to do. You could attach it here so it kind of contoured and wrapped around down a little bit on the structure. You could take good exterior paint and paint this like so many times, 3-4 times, and that would actually do a pretty good job of waterproofing it for quite some time. Or you could take elastomeric roofing, stuff like Somay is one of the companies, and you could coat this stuff. Basically, it's a paintable roofing surface, which has its own ups and downs. But basically, this is, like I said, we did a time-lapse drawing kind of like this before. This one's a little bit different. And I'm going to show you a few views of this. But basically, I'd like to have something that, again, could be buried into a hill. If you wanted, taking a single salvaged sash of a window, which I find all over the place, that being half of a sliding window, up and down horizontally. You could mount that in to have a window so that if you wanted to bury this, and this is what I do with the other one, here would be a cross section. You could have something to retain the earth here and there. You could have this kind of inlet where you can see outward. Here's the structure buried under earth. The reason I give it the trapezoidal shape, if that's really a word, is because when you bury it, if it had blunt ends, you're going to need more dirt, and it's going to be less hideable. This kind of conforms to the shape of the earth, the angle of repose, or the angle, the soil will hold at, if that makes any sort of sense. Maybe not. So, put a couple flecks of this and that here to denote that this is dirt. You can cover this with the leaves. That would be easier because you're not putting much of a load in here. So that would require that inside here you're going to have to make this pretty strong. So, easily on either side of the window, you're going to want a lot of vertical supports. And your main members over here for your rafters, kind of, in this setup here, You'd want those to be pretty stout and spaced pretty closely together. I would use 3/4 inch ply on all this, which is going to make it heavy. So with wheels, this only being about 8 feet long and maybe 2.5 feet high, you still could drag it. You know, you could build it somewhere, throw it in a truck, or just haul it out in the woods down a trail, wheel it in position on the shovel, just start burying the darn thing. Now the other option is if you nixed this window, let me give you a side view here for the heck of it. And those of you still with me, thank you for watching. By the way, we can do some giveaways coming up I want to try it on the channel, because a lot of things I'm trying I don't feel are working while I'm having fun doing all of them. In terms of, everyone's fighting for YouTube views and all that. I'm trying to offer up some unique stuff, but in some cases, videos I think are awesome, like a houseboat one I did recently, just isn't seeing many people. It's tough. So I'm going to give away some stuff, when we hit like another 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe. I'm going to be giving some stuff away, and I'm going to hit some benchmarks and give away whatever books, my book, Micro Living, things like this. So we've omitted the window in this case, and this is a cross section of this. So what we could do in this case, almost like a simple boat hatch, is you could have something that opens like a hatch here. Again, well supported, because you can be holding at least a couple inches of dirt on top of this. And while you're hiding out, if things like deer, which maybe you won't see this because again, it's buried, this would be your original level of the soil. And here's some burrow beneath. I don't know. There's a little mole in there. So this is underground here. For this structure here, you're going to bury it under a couple inches of soil at least, which soil, especially when it's wet, it adds up in weight. That's why I said the alternative is to bury it in leaves so it's not visible. But what I'm saying is if it's blended in really well, deer could very well be grazing on your roof. There was a book from David Stiles where it talked about something like that, where people, or this underground, I think Mike Oler, underground house book, he would have deer grazing on his roof all the time. So here's your side view. Inside, coffin-like sleep chamber, not luxurious, but this again is just a place to hide out, to get away. Now you could put, covered cleverly, and even using things like cutaways of clear soda bottles, you could put a series of skylights that penetrate for light. And a lot of people, before you ask, I've already thought of it, what about ventilation? So one thing I'm suggesting is you could have a series, not just one, because if one of them gets blocked up, you're kind of screwed and all of a sudden you can't breathe. But let's say nearby you had some, here's a couple of trees, saplings or whatever right nearby, or you could even stick one in the dirt, a fake one if you cut it down. You could have some hoses that bring in fresh air, couple them, and you could actually have them come through the dirt and run them up along the side of the tree to a certain height, and maybe have a little cap on them so rain won't fill and come through them. And this would actually be attached to the sapling and then spray painted some natural color like a brown or armor green to kind of blend in with the environment. So you're not seeing this very, let's say you had a big bomb shelter like stack right here. That's going to be ridiculous because everyone's going to see that thing. So the alternative here is to hide these various ventilation tubes that could maybe come out under piles of leaves with some screening under them to reduce the amount of bugs that come in, and so on and so forth. Something like this, if you made it a little bit taller, could work pretty well as like a sauna, or just like a kid's fort. But I think it'd be kind of fun. I'd like to try something. I don't know if it's gonna be this workshop or at some point in time. All these sketches and drawings I'm doing here are just brainstorming sessions, because this would take some traditional framing and really go above and beyond with building and strengthening a structure. And this is something we could try at our upcoming Joshua Tree workshop. Oh, and in case you're wondering, it's American chop suey, nothing fancy. And back on our workshops, if you're considering them, here's something we built recently at a Vermont workshop. We built the shell of this cabin in about 2 days, teaching people, while they actually worked, not watched, they were doing the working with us. Teach them the basics of framing and some unconventional framing as well, in regards to building with efficiency and within a budget, and using salvage. That's a big part of our workshops. Building the cheap, using salvage, using what you got, saving, conserving, and more. A lot of salvage and reuse windows in here as well. But you will be doing a lot of building at our upcoming workshops, Joshua Tree, Vermont, and so forth, if you choose to sign up. Details down below.